Parramatta are not supposed to look like this. 6 rounds in, the Eels have conceded 226 points, worst in the competition, and they just got thrashed 52-10 at CommBank Stadium, while their own fans booed them off. That is not one bad night, that is a season spiralling in public, because this club has not been irrelevant. Not long ago, Parramatta were playing in a grand final. They stood on the biggest stage in the sport, in front of a packed stadium, with a real shot at changing their history. Now, they look like a team that cannot stop a momentum swing, a team that cannot survive 5 minutes of pressure without folding, a team that is conceding tries in bunches, not because of one missed tackle, but because the whole structure collapses. And here is the uncomfortable part. When a club falls this fast, it is never just one thing. It is layers, it is timing, it is injuries, yes, it is confidence, yes, but it is also identity, effort, and belief. It is the stuff you cannot fix with one selection change. So what actually happened to the Eels? Because if you only watch the highlights, you will miss the real story. This is not just a bad defense. This is a team losing the parts of the game that do not show up in highlight packages. Kick chase, inside pressure, line speed, first contact, the ability to reset after errors, the willingness to scramble when the plan breaks. And when those things go, everything goes. This is the story of Parramatta's collapse. To understand how ugly this feels now, you have to remember what Parramatta were selling their fans. They were selling a rebuild that finally matured. They were selling the idea that they had a core good enough to go all the way. And in 2022, they did. They made the grand final. Even though they lost 28-12 to Penrith, that season still changed how people talked about the Eels. It felt like the club had found stability. But the truth about footy is brutal. Stability is not a trophy, and grand finals do not guarantee anything in the years that follow. Because once you get to that level, expectations evolve. The league studies you. Rival coaches build plans specifically to stop what you do best. The margin gets thinner. Every weakness gets hunted. And if you do not keep improving, you do not stay still. You slide. The reset that was supposed to fix everything. This is where the timeline matters. Parramatta hired Jason Ryles as head coach on a 4-season deal beginning in 2025. That decision was a message. New standards, new system, new edge. And when a club does that, fans will accept pain, but only if the pain looks purposeful. They will accept losing if they see effort. They will accept a rebuild if they see a spine forming. But what Parramatta have delivered so far in 2026 is not purposeful pain. It is chaos. It is defensive collapse after defensive collapse. It is a team that looks like it is trying to survive the match instead of win it. And when your fans boo you at home, it means they are not reacting to the scoreboard. They are reacting to the feeling that the team has no fight. Ryles even said the fans had every right to boo and questioned the team's hunger after the Titans loss. That is not normal coach talk. That is the language of a coach who is watching his standards fail in real time. The warning signs everyone ignored. Now yes, injuries matter. Parramatta have been hammered. In the Easter Monday game, Bailey Simonson suffered a gruesome ankle dislocation after a dangerous mid-air tackle, and the match exploded into sideline drama. And after that, the injury list did not calm down. The reports around Parramatta's injuries got so intense that there has been public discussion about salary cap relief linked to long-term outs caused by foul play. Then in round 6 against the Titans, Parramatta's injury crisis deepened again, with Sam Tuivasa and Kelma Tuilangi suffering head knocks, adding to a list that includes other key names. So yes, injuries are real, but here's the problem. Injuries do not explain conceding 9 tries. Injuries do not explain missing 43 tackles. Injuries do not explain being the worst defensive team in the competition after 6 rounds. Those are effort and system numbers. Those are belief numbers. That is what happens when a team stops trusting what it is doing. If you want the moment that defined Parramatta's season, it is the Titans game. Not because they lost, because of how they lost. Gold Coast put 52 points on them, 9 tries. The Eels missed 43 tackles, and the Titans ran straight through the middle of their confidence. Keanu Kinney was involved in the Titans' first wave of tries, and Parramatta never looked like they had an answer. This is the kind of game where the scoreboard becomes a mirror. It shows you what the team really is right now. And right now, Parramatta look disconnected. When teams are connected, you can feel it. Even when they miss a tackle, the next man is there. Even when they are tired, the line moves together. Parramatta are not moving together. They are reacting individually. And when your defence becomes individual, you are finished. Because the NRL does not punish individuals. It punishes space. Why this is happening? So what is the actual cause? It is three things, stacked on top of each other. First, poor starts. Captain Mitchell Moses pointed to Parramatta's poor starts as a major factor. That matters because a team that starts slow is a team that plays from fear. When you start slow, you chase the game. When you chase the game, you force offloads, force plays, overplay your hand. And that is when the game speeds up on you. Second, defensive system confusion. You can see it in hesitation. Players pause before they commit. Edges hold instead of jamming. Middles turn their shoulders instead of planting and driving. That is not laziness, that is uncertainty. And uncertainty in defence becomes soft contact. Soft contact becomes quick play the balls. Quick play the balls become momentum. And once momentum starts, you need leaders who can stop it. Which brings us to the third problem, confidence and belief. When Ryles is publicly saying he has not seen that spirit from the group and that he is questioning hunger, you are not talking about tactics anymore. You are talking about identity. And identity is either there or it is not. The most brutal part about this collapse. The worst part is not the ladder position. The worst part is what happens next. Because once you are labelled the soft defence, the league smells it. Every opponent comes into the week thinking they can score points. They do not just think they can win, they think they can put a number on you. And when that belief spreads around the competition, you become the team that everybody uses to fix their attack. That is a dangerous place to live. And the fans feel it. That is why the booing happens. Not because the fans are turning on the club overnight. It is because fans can feel when a season is slipping away, and they can feel when the effort is not matching the promise. So what do the Eels do now? This is where we move from the fall into the future, because Parramatta still have a season to save. But it will not be saved with one miracle game. It will be saved by rebuilding their defensive identity from the ground up. And the first step is simple. Stop the bleeding early. That means the first 15 minutes of every game has to become the new grand final. Kick chase, line speed, no cheap penalties, no walking back onside, no passive contact. Because right now, teams are scoring early and Parramatta are mentally chasing from the start. Second, simplify roles. When injuries hit, clubs survive by simplifying. Tell players exactly what they own. Make the line move as one unit. Remove the grey areas. That is why good systems survive injuries, because the system is bigger than the individual. Third, accountability without panic. Ryles has already made it clear he will not throw young players in if they are not ready. That is important because panic selections destroy confidence even faster. But accountability still has to exist. If effort is not there, the jersey has to feel heavy. Because Parramatta's fan base is not asking for perfection, they are asking for fight. The final question. So here is what this really comes down to. Was this collapse inevitable because of injuries, a new system, and early season turbulence? Or did Parramatta expose a deeper problem that has been sitting under the surface since that grand final run? Because that is the fork in the road for this club. Either they find a defensive identity quickly and this season becomes a turning point story, or the season turns into a long public autopsy. And if it becomes an autopsy, the league will not stop cutting. Now I want to ask you, what happened to the Eels really? Is this on injuries, coaching, roster balance, effort, or something else entirely? And more importantly, can they fix it this season, or is it already gone?